Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. When Labour backbenchers and junior ministers first heard of Rachel Reeves' plan to remove from the elderly their winter fuel allowance, they went on with they were okay with it. They went along. They probably weren't happy, but they went along with it because Darren Jones, who is the deputy official at the cabinet, basically Rachel Reeves's muscle. He's the enforcer, if you will. Explained to them how it was needed. Their times were hard. Difficult decisions were made. There would still be those who desperately needed it, would still get it, but most people didn't. And all that usual lies and blather and spin that's needed to be able to push an unpopular policy through. So they went along with it, at first, at least. And then it all started to go wrong. People didn't like it. And when I say people, I mean us, the normies, the masses, the peasants. We didn't like it. The pensioners didn't like it. The families of the pensioners didn't like it. Normal people didn't like it. And of course, we started saying no. And where we were fortunate, I suppose, on this particular policy is that the press and the media also didn't like it. This isn't one of those policies where the media kissed the arse of the Labour Party. The media also were up there and basically saying it was a terrible idea, apart from The Guardian, which, not surprised there. But the rest of them said, no, we don't like this, it's wrong. And then they started moaning about it. And of course, all these backbenchers started getting very twitchy rings. Because they know, and especially the new ones, they know that their jobs are on the line over this. Because this isn't an issue that, people didn't like it and then they're moving on. This is an issue where people don't like it and people are continuing not to like it. And people are highlighting this all the time. And then the mail came. Emails and letters. Lots and lots of people. Thousands of people for each and every Labour MP. Backbenchers were overwhelmed with the negativity. They're being abused. They're being criticised. They're having hate shown towards them over this policy. Now, Starmer, who appointed Rachel Reeves, is now seen as the person that's responsible ultimately for what Rachel Reeves is doing. The pair of them, they're like the Burke and Hare of British politics at the moment. And they are being held responsible for this entire debacle. Right at the beginning, there was a rebellion and a few MPs rebelled against this particular thing. And they were given a 6-month suspension of the whip, which is almost unheard of. I'm surprised some haven't actually quit the party yet. 6 months is a long time. There's going to be a vote on this in Parliament. Now, we know every MP who's not Labour will vote against it. It makes you wonder how many Labour MPs will rebel. And when they do, either through abstaining or voting against, how many of them will be given a 6-month removal of the whip? Because if he doesn't do it, if Starmer doesn't do it, then he's seen as weak and vacillating. I mean, it's no surprise that he is weak and vacillating, of course. He's a very weak man, a very small man. But if he allows it to go through and then he doesn't remove the whip from them, then the others who he did remove the whip from will be appalled and they may even quit the party. And if he does, like I say, put this in, many of them may well leave the party. This is the deal breaker. Now, I think it will go through. I think he will have the numbers to get it through regardless, even if there is a rebellion by his own backbenchers. However, it will fatally expose him. He will have lost his authority, I think, to be the Prime Minister. And I think this will be the key decision when it comes to ditching him. and imposing someone new, someone red-haired, for example. And then she won't last 5 minutes because she's thick. But it will be a change. Now, the plan I would suggest is, right, we get Starmer out because he's useless. We get her in, and then we get her out because she's even more useless. And then we put in a real leader, if you can find one. Because whoever comes in after Keir Starmer will be the David Moyes of politics. It won't be so hot. So you need to have that gap that's coming in. So you can put her in as a caretaker for a short while before you get a real leader put in. I think that's the plan. But that's only over one policy. You have all the other policies coming down the line. VAT, income tax, national insurance, all going to go up. Corporation tax, inheritance tax, capital gains tax, all going up. It will drive businesses under. We've seen how much wealth is flying out of this country. Billionaires going, millionaires going, thousands a week leaving, taking their cash with them. And all these plans, those big spending plans that Labour have, are now unachievable because there isn't going to be the tax base there. So if they want to do them, they're going to tax even more heavily, even further down that line. Until eventually people like school teachers will be paying top rate tax. People on 30,000 a year will be paying high rate tax. It's going to be a tax hellhole. But don't think that the services will improve. Not a chance of it. It's all going to go on pay rises. Backbenchers know now, especially Labour backbenchers, they know this is a one-term parliament. Already, 6-7 weeks in, it's done. It's a busted parliament. They know it. And they've only got him to blame. But do you think it's bad now? Just wait. Olaf Scholz, the German president, has said, or Reichskanzler, has said that they're changing what they're doing for the immigrants in Germany. And they're not getting all these benefits, all these very generous benefits. They're going down to what he called bed, bread and soap. Basically, very, very basic, tiny amount. Now, Starmer, again, he's in the middle of trying to attempt to make free passage through Europe, including Britain, for under 30s. Most of these immigrants are under 30. So where are these German immigrants who have just suddenly had all their monies cut by the German state going to go? Well, it could be, and take deep breath, 1 million immigrants a year from Germany. But here's the thing. They won't be illegal immigrants. They'll be legal immigrants. Unemployed, unemployable, hate us, hate our culture, hate our history, hate our heritage, hate our whiteness, hate our way of life, hate everything. But they'll be legally allowed to come here and go, dole, want a house, want a woman. They'll take them. And us, like mugs, will be forced to taxed to hell to pay for this invading army of 1 million a year. That's 1 million a year on top of all the illegals coming here at the moment. Britain, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. And that's what happens when you allow 20% of the people in this country to vote Labour. I bet there's a lot of people who voted Labour who are sitting there now wishing they hadn't. 80% of the country wish you hadn't, that's for sure. Thanks a lot. Bye.